You're watching CNBC.
Unemployment may be at a 24-year low, but if you're one of those people still looking for work, temping may be the way to go. When we come back, we'll talk with the head of MacTemps and get the real-life scoop on the employment outlook for temporary workers after this. You know, employment may be at its highest level in a generation, but one factor that today's unemployment report really doesn't accurately reflect is the growing number of workers who are actually choosing to be temporary workers, choosing that as a lifestyle as long as benefits are offered as part of that temporary work. Now, that's according to a recent survey conducted by MacTemps. It's a placement agency for experts at Macintosh and PC computer applications. Chuang is the founder and chief executive officer of MacTemps. He joins us now from Boston. Mr. Chuang, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Tell me about this survey. Now, who were you exactly surveying?
We were surveying our employees, and we found that 36% of them prefer temping to working at rather than working at a full-time job.
How many people are we talking about?
We're talking around 200.
Okay. Now, that's 36% who felt that that's their choice to be a temporary worker.
Yes, which is very surprising. A lot of people think that people choose to temping just because they're in between jobs or something like that. But
you did find, though, that 37% are between jobs right now.
Right, and they use temping as a way to find a full-time job, so they can try out the employer, and the employer could try out the temp.
Right. 15% of those who surveyed were temping because they were downsized, and another 10% were actually moonlighting. That was their second job.
Right. What we're finding is a lot of people in today's economy prefer temping because they like the flexibility, and companies like to hire temps because they like the flexibility.
We are told, though, that we're in a tight labor market. You know, really, this is a buyer's market, if you will. The workers could pick and choose if they wanted to in the right categories, in the right industries, which, let's face it, in some cases are what these temporary workers are all about. But why would they choose that if they could really pick and choose the career they would want?
What we find is that in certain categories, people could pick and choose the career they want, and they really like the lifestyle in these categories better. And what we also find in the temporary help industry, unlike in the general economy, wages are rising. Wages are a lot faster in the temporary help industry than in the general economy.
Is it a misnomer, though, to call them temporary workers if, in fact, they're able to live on the wages they're earning as a temporary worker? They're pretty much a permanent temporary worker, if you know what I mean.
Yes, we like to call them career temps, and what we do to encourage and enable people to be more career temps is we give them a lot of benefits.
Now, you're providing the benefits, or the employers are?
We provide the benefits because we are the employer, and then we send the temps out to various contracts and various assignments with our client companies.
And where are you finding the greatest need for temporary workers these days? Technology or elsewhere?
Definitely technology, though it's pretty broad. In our areas, we're finding the biggest areas are database users, web users, and other computer networking.
Now, do you do the training of these employees, or do they get it elsewhere? They bring that to the table?
They pretty much bring that to the table. We do some training, such as skills upgrades, but we're not a school. We don't do training from scratch. I
don't know if you saw it recently. There was an article in USA Today about how temporary workers are treated in the workplace, and they found some horror stories of people who just felt that they were not treated properly simply because they were temporary workers. They would be there today and not tomorrow, so employers felt that they could have their way with them. In some cases, if the person wasn't getting the job done, one fellow talked about being hit over the head with a newspaper. Is that isolated cases, or are you finding that to be a problem?
Well, I think that might be true with other temporary help companies. That might be true in many different job instances. But what we're finding is that more and more people are choosing to be temporaries on their own free will. So things can't be that bad.
But, the reason I ask is they highlight also the fact that there are apparently some temporary workers who are going to think about unionizing, forming their own associations. I mean, there's a whole group cropping up in that area. Are you finding that to be the case?
Well, we've not encountered anything like that in our industry, and we're finding that we, as a company, MacTemps, are responding to their needs by offering them benefits such as long-term health insurance, 401k plan, disability insurance, dental insurance, vacation pay, holiday pay. So temping in today's world is a lot different than temping was in the past.
Very interesting. Mr. Chuang, thank you. Nice to talk with you.
Thank you very much.
Talking with Chuang, the founder and CEO of MacTemps, a temporary agency that really temps out technology kinds of workers, joining us from Boston today.